Hi, welcome to the Restaurant Show. I'm your host, Justin Riley. Stick around because we're going to be interviewing celebrity chef Stephen Bulgarelli about National Cheeseburger Day. It's come and gone, but he's got some great ideas for how you can make restaurant-style cheeseburgers at home, so you won't want to miss that. We also have some great local food from some fantastic local restaurants, including Blown Smoke Barbecue. We'll head up to Wanakee and chat with our friend Robert Bishop, and Fisher King Winery. Good food's not good food without good wine, and we're going to find out from Fitz exactly what Fisher King has to offer that you could pair with some of your foods. It's all coming up right here on the Restaurant Show, where we stop by the best restaurants in town so you can skip the rest and enjoy the best. We'll tell you where to eat coming up right here on the Restaurant Show. Welcome back to the Restaurant Show. You know, we showcase a lot of local food on this program, but what's good food without some great wine? And I'm joined now by the owner of Fisher King Winery, Alwyn Fitzgerald, aka Fitz. How are you, Fitz?
Very good. How are you?
Excellent.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today, a lot to cover. You brought some product, and then there's some things that are going on at Fisher King Winery that we need to make sure we cover.
Yeah.
But first I want to ask, how did you get into this business? What is your background for opening up Fisher King Winery?
Well, I actually worked for 35 years in corporate America,
Really?
not directly having anything to do with wine directly.
Okay.
But all those years I made wine. Like so many people who start artisan craft beverage companies, you know, you would do it at home on a non-commercial level. What really initiated my interest in it and got me going on it was I come from a European family. Both my parents are European. My mom is off the boat German. My dad who passed fairly recently was Irish.
Okay.
And you know, I remember sipping wine at the dinner table at age 6.
Sure.
It just, I mean, I didn't think much wine at age 6,
Right,
quite frankly.
right.
But you know, but I mean, it was just kind of the family culture, and
Right.
it was no taboo or weirdness. And
Right.
and in fact, when I was in high school, I was a sophomore in high school. I remember going to my mother and saying to her, "So what is all this about wine and winemaking, and how do you make wine?"
Right.
And she is 86 now, and she
Okay.
has never lost her thick German accent. And back then she looked at me and she shook her finger at me and she said, "Well, go buy a book. Go buy some equipment. Go learn how to make wine."
Right.
And so that's kind of what got it started.
Yeah.
The irony is, here's a woman telling her teenage son to go make alcoholic beverages.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, that was then and this is now. I don't, you know.
How often does that happen nowadays?
No, people seem pretty hypersensitive about it now.
Right.
But
Well, that's a great story, great background. And let's talk a little bit about some of the grapes that you use at your winery, because I'm assuming you use mostly Wisconsin-grown grapes. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. Last year, about 60, pardon my voice.
No problem.
About 65% of our production was from grapes grown right here in southern Wisconsin.
Okay, wow.
So, and the only kind of grapes that can really grow in Wisconsin are cold hardy hybrid grapes.
Right.
The big limiting step on the types of grapes is how many days below zero,
Okay.
because of winter kill.
Okay.
So all of the classic grapes from Europe that people tend to be a little more familiar with all require a much more temperate growing zone.
Sure, yeah.
So, you know, they have to be in dry, warmer places.
Sure.
So we have all these cold hardy hybrid grapes that we can grow around here. And that's,
Right.
so we do bring some grapes and juice in from out of state, but we
Sure.
try to focus as much as we can on absolutely the local ones.
Local Wisconsin-grown wine. How about that?
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the wines that you brought with you today. So what's unique about each of these, and can you describe some of that for us?
Sure. Well, we have more back at the winery that we have up in the tasting room.
Right.
But this is just a selection. There's like 4 whites over here
Sure.
and 3 reds right here.
Okay.
Like for example, okay, so here's White Whisper.
Okay.
And this is made from Frontenac Gris,
Okay.
which is a cold hardy hybrid grape.
Sure.
And we get most of our Frontenac Gris from out in Vernon County with a couple of growers we work with out there. And that's a really, really nice grape. It's
Right.
actually related to Frontenac, which is a red grape.
Okay.
But it's sort of like the lighter version of it. And it makes a very nice, almost savory, earthy kind of wine.
Okay.
And it's been very popular, and we have that in the tasting room. So that's Frontenac Gris. And if you go through each one of the wines, you'll find that each of them have different characteristics.
Sure.
Some are very bright and crisp. Some are very, more earthy like that. We have a range of sweetness on the whites, from absolutely dry right up to very sweet. So our sweet Moscato is our sweetest white.
Okay.
And on the reds, currently we have 4 dry reds up in the tasting room.
Okay.
And 2 of those are from Wisconsin-grown grapes, and that includes the Marquette, which is probably our best-selling red wine.
Okay, great. And I see you won some awards there. You want to talk
Well,
about
I mean, we sort of draped them on top of this one bottle, but yes,
Yeah.
the Marquette, our 2 best, not the awards are the end-all, do people like drinking them? That's the end-all, right? But Marquette and Blue Rapture have both done very, very well from coast to coast. We're not talking about little local things, from Midtown Manhattan to San Diego to Sonoma. We've been actually taking home some very nice awards for our wines, and the ones made from Wisconsin-grown grapes.
Awesome. So that there's definitely a hunger for the cold, hardy grapes that are grown here in Wisconsin.
Right. They tend to be a little lighter in body than some of the other heavier ones from Europe.
Well, since this is the restaurant show, let's have a little bit of a food tie-in here. What foods do these wines typically go well with?
Well, first of all, they all go great by themselves. I just have to say that, right? But yes, they go great with different foods. The reds will typically go with, heavier sauces, heavier red meats that have been grilled, things like that, stronger flavors. Yeah. Because the red wines you ferment on the skins and they become much more filled with flavor themselves. That's what makes a red wine. On the whites, again, it varies. I can tell you one thing, this Blue Rapture goes extremely well with spicy foods.
Okay.
Because it kind of cools, it's got some sweetness. It's similar to sweetness like a Riesling kind of. It's not a Riesling grape, but it's similar. And that level of sweetness is just about right that if you get some pepper spiciness in something, it kind of cools it, right? It kind of cools it, yeah.
So you can kind of keep up without sweating.
Right, yeah, it really helps cleanse the palate, yes.
I want to make sure, we got about a minute left. What sort of special events do you have coming up at the winery besides all the times that the tasting room is open? Right,
well, we do many things. I mean, starting up in October, we're doing Trivia Night again. That's going to be happening every week. That was great in the spring. We have our big 6-year anniversary gala party, which is going on on the weekend of Friday the 29th through October 1st.
Okay.
We have prizes, we have giveaways, we have 3 bands playing, Songwriters Circle, Late Harvest, and Mascot Theory, along with a whole bunch of other stuff going on. It's going to be a weekend of just having a great time and wine specials and things like that.
So September 29th through October
1st.
October 1st,
Yep.
Okay. So and do they need to get tickets or anything
Nope.
like that? Or?
Just come on out and have fun. Just enjoy it.
Fun.
Yeah, check our Facebook page.
Okay,
because
excellent.
that's where we have all the events posted in the times and things like that.
Very good. Well, Fitz from Fisher King Winery, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And they also host some special events, so check their website for more information. We'll be right back with more Restaurant Show after the break. Coming up next on the Restaurant Show, we'll head on up to Wanakee to Blowin' Smoke Barbecue. Welcome back to the Restaurant Show. We are at Blowin' Smoke Barbecue with probably the world's best barbecue right here in Wanakee. And Robert Bishop, thank you so much for joining us.
You're too kind.
And thank you for having us. So I'm going to use my psychic powers and guess that we're probably talking about ribs today.
We are talking about ribs today.
Okay.
These are St. Louis style ribs.
St. Louis style ribs. All right. Well, let's do it.
Okay. What I like to do with every rib, it takes about 5 seconds. It's so important. You got to flip them upside down.
Okay.
And skin this little membrane off of here.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people don't do this. Like I say, it just takes a couple of seconds. This will let more smoke flavor in. Your rub penetrate.
Sure.
This is just really.
What is this tool? What is that called?
This is actually catfish skinners.
Oh, okay.
Get them at any Walmart, probably any good sporting goods, but they work great for peeling off that membrane.
Okay. So you peel that off, and does it usually cover the whole thing, or just kind of, it looks like you just kind of got a portion?
Just through the bones there, on top of your bones.
Got it, all right.
Wow. I like to use this our dry rub.
All right.
Pretty generous amount on there.
Sure.
Rub and get every little square inch on there.
Okay. And when you put the dry rub on, you smoke afterwards then? Is that kind of how that
works?
works?
Well, let it marinate for a day.
Oh,
so let this kind of get into that meat.
Yeah.
Especially like on your beef brisket or your pork butts, because they're so thick.
Right.
And they need all the time marinating they can get.
Yeah. And you guys do ribs all day, every day?
All day, every day. You bet. Yep.
Okay.
Just anybody that asks me to sample some of my meat, I always got to give them a rib. It's just what you throw out there.
Okay.
So yeah, you let this sit in the fridge for overnight.
All right.
Pop on the smoker the next day.
Wow.
And here's what you end up with.
So that's what you end up with?
Yep.
Wow, all right. And is it done after it's smoked? Is it ready to eat after it's
They
smoked?
take about anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. Nice and slow, about 190 degrees.
Wow, 190. That's slow.
It's slow.
That's very slow.
And when I first started cooking, it was like, oh, I'm never going to be able to do this. It takes forever.
Right.
Now it's just, as you get older, a little more patient. And
Sure.
It's easy to deal with.
You know that the reward is well worth the wait.
Exactly, right.
So, yeah.
We sell full racks, half racks, quarter racks.
Okay. And are those available for, you guys do catering, obviously,
Right.
so
Yep.
are those available for delivery?
Oh, definitely, yep.
Okay. Awesome.
All of our dinners come with 2 sides.
Sure.
We'll do it.
Bringing out the creamy coleslaw, folks.
Creamy coleslaw, potato salad to go with.
Looks like the grilled vegetables. Are those grilled vegetables?
Those
or
are broccoli raisins.
broccoli raisins. A little bit of a casualty here, but that's okay. All right. So that would be a half rack rib dinner.
Half rack rib dinner, yep.
All right. May I try?
You betcha.
All right. All right. So I'm going to try some of this because this looks really good. I'm actually going to start with the sides here. So this is the potato salad.
Potato salad.
Okay. You guys
Just
make
basic,
this?
we make it all, yep. Just basic potato salad, celery, onion, mayo, a little relish. Little celery salt's kind of a secret in there.
And I just love creamy coleslaw. Got to have the creamy coleslaw. Well,
Into the good stuff.
So what do people do? Do they typically pour the barbecue sauce on, or they dip it in the cup, or?
It's just each his own. A lot of
his own?
people
Okay.
don't even want sauce. The ribs have quite a bit of flavor.
They just like the
They don't
smoke flavor.
Cover it up with sauce.
All right, I'm going to try it like this.
That's why we do the sauce on the side, because if you want to dip it for a little change up, you can do that.
They're so tender. They just fall
These
apart.
the
in your
ribs
hand.
we get, they're very meaty too, real consistent.
Yeah. What kind of ribs are these? It's not baby back, are they?
No, there's pork spare ribs, St. Louis style, what they call them. They trim off the little bone on the top there, and kind of
Okay.
nice, even, consistent rib.
Wow, that is so good.
Thank you.
So if somebody wants to hire you for a catering job, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Just give us a call, email.
Old-fashioned call, old-fashioned
Old-fashioned
email.
phone call. We're kind of personal around here. If you have a wedding or something coming up, a major event, we'd like for the couple to come in, do a little tasting.
Okay.
It's we charge $10 for the tasting.
All right.
And you get a good sample of all of our stuff. And if you book with us, that $10 goes towards your catering.
Well, that's very good.
So yeah. But I like people to
pretty
come
good.
in so they can, a lot of people say they've heard about us. But I still want them to come in and try, then they can pick out
Sure.
their meats.
Sure,
They
yeah.
can come in and try it, go home, chit chat for a week or two, decide, call back, no big deal.
So you'll do some catering, and then you'll actually deliver the food to them as well.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We've also, if we're doing like a wedding or something, we also offer bartenders and servers.
Oh, really? Okay.
We
Fantastic.
do past hors d'oeuvres if you'd like.
Okay.
Pretty much anything you want.
Wow. Wow.
We have great catering prices, so
And what are your hours?
Tuesday through Thursday,
Okay.
11 to 8, 11 to 9, Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
And starting after Labor Day, we're going to be closed on Mondays.
Okay.
Just so I have a little more time so I can keep the ball rolling for many
Yeah,
years.
quality over quantity for sure. So we've got about a minute and a half left. I think it's just really kind of cool to hear your story about how you got involved with barbecue. Obviously, growing up in Kansas City, that's a big thing.
Right,
down
yep.
there.
Everybody down there, grills, barbecues, tailgates.
Yeah.
It's just a way of life. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're young, you get your grill and start grilling and come up with different tricks and tips and just, it's all about the grilling.
Yeah. Over the course of your career in this industry, how many awards would you say that you've won?
Close to about 200.
Wow.
I won 2 grand champions, which are very hard to get 24 judges to like your food all in one day.
Wow.
Is what it boils down to. But
Wow.
we've got a lot of various ribbons, and
Yeah.
anytime you go to a contest and just get called out once, it's just so worth it. Just
Yeah,
it's a
I
long
imagine.
night, long day. You're tired by the end of it. And
I imagine.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
just,
incredible. That is so incredible.
fun.
So over 200 different awards, which means you've been in like 200 different contests.
well, some of them there's a couple contests where we just dominated.
You just win multiple awards. I
We've
suppose
won
that's true. That's
awards
true.
in
Wow.
every category. We've done kids' cues. All of our kids when they were young.
Yeah.
They grill and do their own little thing, and
Sure.
all of them have won some ribbons. And
That's cool.
Really exciting. They make them kind of like a family event, which is really neat. And
That's cool.
So my team members and their kids would come out. And
Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome.
it's
Well,
a great
Robert
time.
Bishop, thank you so much
You're
for
very
joining
welcome.
us today. Thank you for having us. This is great barbecue. It's probably the world's best, and it's right here in Waunakee. come on down to Blown Smoke Barbecue, and there's more Restaurant Show coming up after the break. Up next on the Restaurant Show, Chef Stephen Bulgarelli shares with us how to make some delicious cheeseburgers right at home. Welcome back to the Restaurant Show. Picture it, a soft, toasty bun, a juicy hamburger patty, cheese melting all over the side, and of course your favorite toppings to top it all off. It's the perfect cheeseburger, and it's really a work of art. Joining us with some unique ideas on how to up our burger game is Applebee's new head chef, Stephen Bulgarelli. Chef, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you guys?
We're doing excellent here in beautiful Madison, Wisconsin. So, you know, folks here, obviously we're in the dairy state, and, you know, we've got our beef cows as well. So the beef is fresh, and we love going to a restaurant to get a fresh, juicy burger. But what about for folks who want to enjoy the restaurant quality burger at home? Do you have some tips for those folks?
I sure do. It is important, you mentioned earlier, to start with the best ingredients. So I like to use fresh and never frozen beef. That's really important. That's what we use in the restaurant as well. That gives you the best tasting burger and the juiciest eating experience possible.
Absolutely. So fresh is always better, and a lot of our restaurants around here in the Madison area like to do the fresh thing and get their ingredients as local as possible. So it sounds like that's kind of a trend all over the country as well.
Well, absolutely. Again, you can't go wrong when you start with good ingredients.
Absolutely. So what is a little known secret when it comes to cooking that will boost our own burgers to another level?
Well, that's a great question. And the one tip that I always give is don't use a grill outside. Use either a cast iron pan or, as we do in the restaurant, a flat top saute pan works as well. If you want to cook it outside, then put the pan right on top of the grill because that keeps it nice and juicy. Typically, when people grill outside, they usually get it burnt and dried, and it's just not a good experience. But if you cook it in a pan, it's going to stay soft, and it's going to stay juicy, and it's going to be cooked perfectly.
And really, when we go to Applebee's or other restaurants, that's really kind of the way that they do it. I mean, they're not cooking it on an outdoor grill or anything like that. They're locking those juices in as much as possible, is what it sounds like.
Absolutely, and that's key to a great burger experience.
So, what is one of your favorite recipes that's easy for folks to make at home?
Well, so for me, it's what we call our all-in American burger. And what we do is we take some sauteed onions and we put that right in the pan. We're going to take some chopped pickles. We're going to then take some cooked chopped bacon. We're going to let that sit for just a minute to get nice and warm. Then we take our fresh, never frozen patty, and we're going to smash this down. That's key because what's going to happen is we're going to get this nice caramelization, this nice crust on the outside of the burger. And all the flavors from the onions, pickles, and bacon are going to marry amazingly in that pan. Don't forget to season with salt and pepper because that's also key. And then once it's finished on one side, we're going to flip it over and put some American cheese on top of that. So you can see there. Then we take our toasted brioche bun, which is important. We put our signature sauce on the bottom of that with lettuce, tomato, onion, and pickle, and we top it with our toasted brioche bun. And we use brioche because it's a great tasting bun and it doesn't compete with the other flavors. As you know, most people know brioche has a little bit more egg and butter in it, so it's nice and soft.
Wow. I think I might be, maybe I'm going out on a limb here, but I think I just heard 500,000 stomachs growling out there in southern Wisconsin. Is there any way you can send that through the TV, send that through the satellite feed for us there, Chef?
If I could, I would, my friend.
So what else can folks do at home to enhance the flavor of their burgers?
So the one thing I always say is when you're cooking anything at home, don't be afraid, right? Enjoy what you enjoy. So if you like feta cheese on your burger or sun-dried tomatoes, don't be afraid to do that. One of the signature burgers we have at Applebee's is our whiskey bacon burger. And so what I like about this burger, it's kind of sweet and sassy at the same time. So we put some pepper jack cheese on the burger, which gives it a little bit of kick. We top it with 2 pieces of bacon and then our whiskey barrel barbecue sauce that has fire Fireball whiskey infused in it. That gives you that sweet, sassy combination that I was telling you about. And then we put some fried onions on top of that for a nice little texture. Great tasting burger. Again, don't be afraid with whatever ingredients you want. There's all kinds of combinations out there. An egg is also a good combination because that egg yolk is nature's best sauce out there. And that egg yolk on a burger is an amazing eating experience.
Wow, whiskey bacon burger is by far my favorite. That's my go-to every time I go out, so absolutely. Now, we've got a lot of good tips here today for folks who want to try to do some of this at home. You've had a really great demonstration, really great visuals too. So what if somebody wants to go out? What if somebody just wants to go out to eat a good burger?
Well, at Applebee's, we have a full range of burgers, and if you go to applebees.com, it'll show you all of our burgers that we have on the menu, as well as all of our menu items, and we'd be happy to host you at an Applebee's near you.
Awesome. Do you get to eat that burger after every demonstration that you do?
No, because if I did, I'd weigh 500 pounds.
Well, Chef Stephen Bulgarelli, Applebee's new head chef, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for the great demonstration and the great information. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Justin. Have a great day.
You as well. Chef Stephen Bulgarelli joined us to demonstrate some great things that you can do if you want to have a great restaurant-style burger at home. We've got more local food coming up after the break here on The Restaurant Show, so stick around. Thanks so much for joining me here today on The Restaurant Show. I hope that when you're out and about looking for a place to eat or at the local grocery store, you'll consider any one of these fantastic locally owned restaurants. That's all the time that we have for today on The Restaurant Show. This is Justin Riley reminding you that life is too short to eat average. We'll see you next time.